Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Jay.
Let's wait for 5 minutes. Let the student join. They are messaging and they will be joining in some time. Let's wait for them for some time.
All right, sir. It's 6:56 right now. We can start at 7:05, I believe.
Yes, sure, ma'am. Let's give them just 5 minutes.
Not a problem, sir. So the moment we start, I'll switch on the video then.
Attendees, just wait for 5 minutes. Let the students join. Then we will start the session. Ma'am, shall we start? Popal ma'am?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you. Please start, ma'am.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Well, very good evening to all of you. I am Popal from PIA, and I'll straight go with the module that I would like to explain today, and that is a special module in IELTS, which plays a very important role, and that is your speaking module. Most of the students, they end up asking me that, ma'am, we end up scoring 6.5, by why not 7.5 or 8, the magic bands basically. So in today's class I will be explaining you how you can score 7 plus bands and what X factor is something that you basically need to score this. Well, guys, let me be very frank with you. The paper is very smartly designed. It is very well scripted. You need to understand the basic requirement, what exactly the examiner is looking for. You just have 10 to 15 minutes, maximum 15 minutes, and that is it. And in 10 to 15 minutes, you need to show your language skill set. Be it your pronunciation, be it your vocabulary, be it your grammar, be it the way you express yourself. So you just have 15 minutes in hand. The most important thing that basically students tend to forget is that they don't pay attention to the question. What exactly is the question asking? And the entire paper is tense sensitive. The examiner will very smartly see to it, are you very confident with your tense, the present, past, and future tense? So all these things you definitely have to keep it in mind. Apart from that, your paper, the paper is basically, again, designed wherein the examiner in part one will be asking you topics related to different, I would say different topics, maybe traveling, food, music, friend, movies, reading. And this is because they want to know how confident are you to express yourself. Most of the time, students end up giving answers in yes or no and maybe just one line. Sorry, that will not serve the purpose. Why I'm saying this? Because this is the time wherein you can play smart with your words. You need to tell the examiner that I have ways, I have different means by which I can show my language skill set. For example, there are a number of questions in part one and again in part three, wherein they end up asking you questions like, any question, and they would ask you why. You need to mention reasons. You need to give reasons. When they ask you why, you need to mention the first prominent reason is, the first and the foremost reason is, you give the first reason and then start using connectors. In your entire speaking, you can use connectors like moreover, furthermore, in addition to this. So whenever there's by, because when you're saying why, you need to give reasons. And again, there'll be a lot of questions related to your likes and dislikes. Now, say for example, if they end up asking you a question like, do you like cakes? Again, most of the students will end up giving me answer, yes, I like cake, especially about the cake. This is not the way you're supposed to give an answer. If the question is like, do you like cakes? Of course, yes. See, you have to say, of course, yes, feel it. Or you can use the word like certainly, definitely, because there'll be a lot of questions. So every time you can change. You can use certainly at times. You can use, say, for example, definitely, of course. You have to be smart enough to play with your words. If I have to give an answer for this, say, for example, do you like eating cakes? Certainly, I love eating cakes. And especially, I like to have chocolate cake, that's my favorite. Or you can give an answer like this. If the question, again, I'm repeating the question, if they say, do you like eating cakes? Of course, yes, I love having cakes, but occasionally, not very often. I'm a health conscious person, so I occasionally like to have it, and specifically, a chocolate cake with a cup of coffee. So I'm trying to use the word occasionally out here. So wherever you can, try to use the word occasionally. Examiners giving you an opportunity. Again, say for example, I'm giving another example like, do you prefer to drink tea or coffee? There is an option out here. So just don't say that I like to have coffee because it helps me to relieve stress. This is the basic answers that I generally get. No. I repeat the question again. Do you prefer to drink tea or coffee? Well, generally, I love to have a cup of tea, basically tea with a lot of herbs as it has medicinal properties. But at times, occasionally, I don't mind having a cup of coffee, maybe a latte or a cappuccino. See, I am trying to explain myself, and I'm trying to explain myself. I am giving reasons, I'm creating options so that I'm giving enough information to the examiner, and the examiner can analyze my language skill. To add further, let me give you another example. Do you like to plan your meals? Generally, students would end up giving me an answer: no, I don't plan meals because I don't have time. See, over here, when they're talking about meals, it's basically breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You need to explain, take that opportunity. Basically, you don't plan, but see, this is a speaking test wherein you need to show your language skill set. So if a question like this comes, do you plan your meals? Of course, yes. As I just recently mentioned, I'm a very health conscious person. I do plan my meals, and basically it's the breakfast. And since I'm a working professional, there are times wherein I have to miss out with my lunch. So I do plan my breakfast, and I do see to it that my breakfast should be a very healthy one. What I'm trying to tell over here is in my breakfast, basically there should be protein. So I see to it that there should be eggs and maybe Greek yogurt. And apart from that, it should have a combination of exotic fruits, basically raspberries, strawberries, as they're high in antioxidant, or maybe seasonal fruits, and maybe handful of nuts. So I'm giving example along with my answers. So I'm trying to, express, and I'm trying to give in words. I'm using the word antioxidant. When you're talking about food, you need to give word related to food, basically maybe nutrition or maybe antioxidant. You give example, the protein. So your mind has to start working. You have to be smart enough how to play with words, and that is what I'm doing. Again, I'll give you another example. When they'll definitely ask you questions like, what is the difference between the children of today and yesterday? Your answer should be like this. I repeat the question, listen to it very carefully. What is the difference between the children of today and yesterday? In my understanding, you can start like this, or generally what I have observed. Generally, what I have observed. That's a very beautiful way of starting. Or you can say, well, what I have noticed. It is a conversation. You need to have a communication with the examiner. So if I have to give an answer like this, again, I repeat the question. What is the difference between the children of today and yesterday? Well, in my understanding, the children of today and yesterday, there is a drastic difference. What I mean to say over here is the children of yesterday were very simple, and they were very, I would say, very decent. But the children of today are smart. There are a couple of reasons behind it why they are smart, because they have access to sophisticated gadgets. They travel a lot. The entire education system has completely undergone a change. So they're preparing the youngsters of today for the future, and they're capable enough to take decisions in life. So I would definitely say that there's a drastic difference. See, there is so much of information that you're giving to the examiner. The examiner is checking on with your fluency. Again, there will be discussion questions, maybe generalized question, which is basically in part 3. And the question can be something like this. Do you think health services should be free? I repeat the question. Do you think health services should be free? Do you think? They're asking your opinion. So you can say, in my opinion. You can start like this, or you can say, well, that's an interesting question. Well, that's an interesting question. And guys, see to it that there has to be fluctuation in your voice. You need to feel it. there has to be a movement with the tone so that you attract the examiner. The examiner is listening to you, right? So a voice modulation plays a very important role.
Ma'am,
Yes, sir.
we have a couple of questions from the students. Should I ask them right now or after your this session?
Sir, I have this one question to discuss, and after that, we can take all the questions.
Right, perfectly okay, ma'am.
Just last question. Okay, I'll come back to my question. Do you think health services should be free and why? Well, that's an interesting question. I believe there are a couple of reasons why it should be free. When there's a question like why, you have an opportunity to use connectors out here. When you say why, you give one reason and then say moreover, and try to give examples. This will definitely make your speaking very effective. And there are a lot of other tips that definitely will be taken care in the class because it is all individualistic. Every student have their own issues. So I'll definitely customize the class according to the need of the students, and everybody will be definitely be getting feedback. So this is all that I have to say. And now you all can ask me question one by one. Sir, are you there, please?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, question from Nitin.
Yes,
How
sir.
to improve grammar?
How to improve grammar? Now, that's a very interesting question. Well, you need to do a lot of exercise and you need to understand what exactly IELTS is asking for. IELTS is asking for basically, as I have just mentioned right now, they'll be very particular as far as your tenses are concerned. So you have to have a very clear knowledge about your tenses, your prepositions. So you need to figure out where exactly you have problems, and then you need to do a lot of practice on that. And on YouTube, and these days you do have a lot of opportunities online. So you need to practice and you need to have a knowledge about that. You need to clear your basics, but you need to understand what exactly IELTS is asking for, IELTS Cambridge is asking for. So you need to figure out the grammar basically, that particular category, and find a solution. So you need to work on that, obviously. Hanji sir, next question, please. So can I have the next question?
Ma'am, next question is, when are you planning to have writing demo?
Oh, well, very soon, most likely next week, we are planning. So this week, I have basically focused on speaking, and that's just I would say, the basics of it. There's so much more in speaking that we can do. But since we have less of time, so this week, I've just given you the basics of speaking. So obviously next week for sure.
Okay. Ma'am, next question is, heavy words should be used in speaking or not?
Of course, not. It's not about heavy words. I'm sorry to say that. Your words should be right at the right place, and it has to be topic centric. As I've just mentioned, if they're talking about meals, you need to be smart enough to play with words. Even the word like antioxidant, or maybe nutrition, or maybe handful of, when talking about nuts, it is just about that. Speaking is all about being crystal clear. Your expression should be right. So if you say that you're going to use very high words and it's not at the right place, you are in trouble completely. It has to be topic centric. Basic, simple words, clear words at the right place. That is what is basically required for it.
Next question is, in how many questions for speaking we can use examples?
Oh, well, in your entire speaking, between, like, you have 10 to 11 minutes, or 10 to 20 minutes, or 10 to 15 minutes, give example just once or maybe twice maximum. Don't do the same thing. Don't repeat again and again, because you need to show a lot of flexibility. You need to show a lot of other factors, like, every time if you take a support of example, examiner will come to know that you've been trained by somebody. So in the entire speaking, maybe just one example, or maybe maximum two is good enough. Please, not more than that.
Ma'am, there is a very interesting question. Question is, I have been your student, but I just want to clarify, will the quality be same in online classes as well?
course, yes. I would never ever compromise when it comes to online classes or face to face. I need to be with my student. I need to understand my student. Even if it's a virtual class, I can read the mind of the students because I will be interacting with all of you. And the way we train students online, they are part of the class. You are just a part of the class in the sense that you're not there practically sitting, but you can listen to me what I'm saying. You can listen to other students what they are saying. You can come up with your problems. You can give answers. Now, say, for example, there'll be in-house speaking, wherein I'll be asking questions, students will be giving answers, and if the answers are not satisfactory, I'll give back them the right answer. So you will not even feel the difference. That is an assurity from my side. Quality at PI is never ever compromised. Can I have the name of the student who ended up asking me this?
Ma'am, it's not specified. It's some code mentioned over there.
Okay, okay, done. Next question, sir.
Ma'am, next question is same person. We have heard a lot. No, this is a different person. We have heard a lot about your strictness in classes. So kindly elaborate it.
Well, that's again an interesting question. Guys, please try to understand one thing. I am a teacher and I need to bring the best out of you. And the strictness is basically, I would say, for practice. If you don't practice language, you will not be in a good position to be confident enough on the final day. There are a lot of WhatsApp activities. The homework has to be done. We don't allow the student to be a part of the class. You might feel bad in the initial days, but guys, I bet you the day you are sitting and giving your paper on that particular day when you come out of your exam, and then you would realize that thank you so much, PI, for being strict. Because that's the way it works. It's not a maths paper, it's not science, it's not like we can learn something. This is a language paper, guys. Always remember, language need lot of attention. जब तक आप बात नहीं करोगे, जब तक आप बोलोगे नहीं, जब तक आप writing लिखोगे नहीं, खाली information से काम नहीं होगा. Getting information is, see, you have enough of information on the internet. But putting the information into practice, that is what is required. Practice makes a man perfect. You will realize this when you'll be a part of the class. And myself and Mr. Sandeep over here, we completely believe in this. And that's the reason why, guys, we are confident enough that, 7.58 bands is possible in writing and speaking. This is a basic issue with students all over the world. It's 6.5. Why not 7? Obviously, practice is very important. And we are very, very strict on that. And let me share this with you. There are a lot of students when they finish their classes and when they leave and when they clear the paper, they always come and tell me and sir that whatever the case is, please be strict. That helps us to basically bring a lot of difference in the language proficiency. And let me add you one more thing over here, guys. At PIA, we are just not training you for IELTS. We are training you for English as a language so that you can use it in your day-to-day routine. And जब आप day-to-day routine में करोगे, उसका impact हमारी class में भी पड़ेगा. और जब आप day-to-day routine में use करोगे, you will get a lot of compliments also, and then you'll start feeling confident. And this will have an impact on the final day when you go and give your speaking. So that is what I can say.
Ma'am, next question is, should we speak large answers in part 1 and part 3?
Oh, well, not in part one. Part one, your answer should definitely be in 3 to, I would say, 4 lines. But yes, in part 3, it has to be elaborate because part 3 is all about discussion questions. There will be debatable question. There will be opinion. Like, say, for example, do you think children should be given the liberty to take decision? So that's an opinion based. So obviously, when you're giving opinion, you will be giving reasons, the first reason, moreover. So yes, you can speak for 30 seconds to say 1 minute because they want you to speak more because they want to analyze your fluency, your natural flow, how you're putting the right word at the right place, your grammar. So in discussion question, yes, 30 seconds to maybe 1 minute is good enough. In the initial ones, again, I repeat, 3 to 4 lines, that's it.
Ma'am, next question, I would say it is a compliment first of all. Please don't specify my name, but I have seen a lot many students scoring 8,777 usually after taking coaching from you. I have appeared in this exam for approximately 15 times and I am unable to score. I took coaching from 7 plus institutes, renowned institutes. So, can you please tell why I am lacking and why there is always usual variation in bands in all the modules?
Sir, can you again repeat the question, because there are two questions out here?
Yes,
Can you just
ma'am. It is a
uh,
big, lengthy question. First of all, it's a compliment of for sure.
yeah,
Second thing
that
is
I got.
she's yeah. Second thing is student is mentioning. She is saying that I have appeared in this exam lot many times. I am unable to figure out why I am not scoring 8,777.
Right, sir. Thank you. Well, thank you for the compliment first, but now let me get to your question. This is a language paper, guys. Always remember. So you need to understand what Cambridge IELTS is asking for. The biggest issue is that 90% students को पता ही नहीं होता है कि उनको करना क्या है. At times, at times you might be scoring 7 in writing, at times you might not be scoring, at times you might be scoring in reading, at times you might not be scoring in listening. You need to pay attention to all the four modules during your training session, and every module has to be taken care along with the tips and techniques. If you don't understand what IELTS Cambridge is asking for, this problem will happen whether you give your paper, dear, 15 times or 20 times. You need to understand the heart of this paper. As I mentioned about speaking right now, you were a part of my class. I have given you the basics, like I was very smartly handling my words, certainly, definitely, moreover, occasionally, generally. Examiner within 15 minutes will come to know that yes, you can speak pretty well, so you are already a 7 plus category student. Same goes with your writing also. You need to understand what exactly the question is asking. You need to be topic centric. You need to have the right kind of words, right kind of vocabulary, right kind of presentation, which I'm very particular. Now again, most of the students have this feeling that, if we put good words or heavy words in writing or speaking, I'll get 7 and 8. No, it's never like that. You can have simple words, but those words should be sophisticated. Now say, for example, to make it all the more clear, a word like, important, everybody is using it. But instead of using the word important, try to use and make it all the more better for presentation. It should be like extremely important. And then again, say, for example, if the topic in your essay is talking, for example, about cities, so you have to have the words out there like metropolitan cities, infrastructure, city dwellers, residents. These are basic words. These are not even hi-fi words. So the topic centric vocabularies that you're missing, the presentation, maybe the connectors you might be missing, or you're not putting it at the right place. Maybe you're not justifying the answer in writing. All this thing does make a lot of difference. Again, with your reading and listening also. Again, you need to understand the tips and techniques, the keywords. What exactly is the question asking? And to be very honest, the entire IELTS paper is very, very simple. The only thing is that we are not alert at times. And the second thing, parallel to this, is that we don't even understand ki IELTS Cambridge ko kya chahiye. Once you know that, I don't think there'll be any problem. And again, at PIA, we are very particular, be it reading, listening, writing, speaking. Every module is given due importance the way it has to be. Only then, 8777 will happen. And that's the reason we are very strict. There are a lot of times students will end up coming and saying, ma'am, sirf writing kara do ji, sirf speaking kara do ji, humne reading, listening nahi karna hai. We'll tell them, thank you so much. And the reason behind it is why we say thank you so much. Because if I do writing with you or speaking with you over there in the class, you'll be very happy with your performance. But that's just an eye wash. Don't forget, on the final day, your exam, when you go and give your paper, you have to stay out for 15, 20, maybe half an hour for registration. And after that, you start with listening, reading, writing. आपका writing का जो task होता है वो last में होता है. You are mentally tired. I need to analyze my students, even in the class, that after giving listening, reading, when they're doing writing, are they in the right state of mind to give me that quality in my answer? And if I just teach writing and speaking, how will I come to understand? This paper is a mind game. So all these things does make a lot of difference, and we do take care of this in PI. I hope I have satisfied the question, the answer to the question, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, one more question. Is it good to read 9-band or 8-band essays from the internet?
Well, that's absolutely a very interesting question. Instead of reading those 9 bands or 8 bands, we're not even aware those are worth 8 bands or 9 bands, because they're not written by IELTS Cambridge examiners or somebody who's into this line. How do we know? Instead of reading those, read articles. We all are aware the kind of questions that might come. It's loaded on the internet. We know that there are topics related to basically environment, topic related to industries. We have all those lists loaded. You need to have information. You need to have information, right words, again, technical words. So, and let me be very honest, you need to develop that creativity. You need to be creative while writing and speaking. So reading those kind of essays definitely will help you, maybe 20%, maybe 50%, but it will not enhance your creativity. So you need to read a lot of articles, to be very honest, related to the topics, basically. That will help.
Ma'am, next question is how to improve fumbling in speaking?
Well, that is only possible when you practice. Practice makes a man perfect. See, this is the reason why everything is going back. Your questions again. Why PI is so strict. This happens because you are nervous. This happens because you are not practicing. And let me tell you very frankly, the kind of questions that they end up asking in IELTS is about food, maybe about traveling. We know about it, but we don't talk about it. Say, for example, they might ask you about perfumes. They might ask you questions related to bags. I mean, we know about it, but we don't even end up talking. जिस चीज के बारे हमें नॉलेज है लेकिन हम उसको प्रैक्टिस ही नहीं करते, हम उसके बारे में बात नहीं करते, it becomes very difficult to express, and that's the reason why we end up fumbling. So over here at PIA, before you go for your exam, I do see to it that most of the question, 95% of the question that we are expecting, we prepare our students for that, because questions are repeated, be it your essay writing or your letter, or maybe your speaking. We prepare you for that. I am continuously working on it. The students, those who have already been there with me in the class, they're aware. It's not like I have to do it for the heck of doing it. No, there's a lot of intense study that I work on. And on the final day, when you go, you should not feel like, oh shit, what do I do? How do I give an answer? What do I write? No, you'll have enough of ideas. So we'll give you the best of material. Practice definitely you have to do in order to score that 8,777. So we need to maintain that repetition of 8,777. So we work on these lines, and obviously the students have to cooperate and practice a lot with us. As far as the material content is given, I'm always there for my students, and I'll give them the best. That's for sure. Hanji sir, can I have a next question, please?
Can you kindly clarify how will you help us improve our bands through online classes?
Well, as I mentioned, be it online classes or be it you're there in the class, you are being analyzed. Every student will get the due importance. Say, for example, with writing and speaking, you are like, one-to-one speaking is happening, in-house speaking is happening, speaking on WhatsApp is happening. We will be continuously be giving you feedback. Even with your writing, whatever you're writing, there will be one-to-one discussion with the students, each and every student. And after 20 days, there will be a counseling session wherein you will be sitting with me with your performance sheets, be it your reading, listening, writing, or speaking. We will have a very healthy discussion and see to it that where exactly the problems are. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Because within 20 days, you'll be in a very comfortable position to know where exactly do you stand. And since we have the performance sheet, we are very strict as far as the performance sheets also concerned. You have to keep updating it. And then one-to-one counseling will definitely help to bring a solution to the problem.
Next question is, heard a lot about your WhatsApp activities. What is it?
Practice WhatsApp activity. See, we need to create an aura. Again, language. जब तक aura नहीं बनेगा, आप see, you need to have an aura. I hope you're understanding what aura is all about. The moment you get up in the morning at 6:37, you have your essay question flashing, your vocab flashing, your cue card flashing. It's like, okay, it's like, hello, get up. It's time to talk in English. It's time to work. If our mind is not working on this particular language throughout the day, things do not happen. WhatsApp activity is all about practice. So you have to do it. You have to create an aura. It's like, in WhatsApp activity, say, for example, vocabulary, So there are a lot of words in English. There are thousands of words in English. You cannot remember all of them. At PIA, we have a list of words which keep changing according to the, pattern, according to the demand of the questions or according to the demand of the topics that will be coming. So what we do is like we have vocabulary. So you come, you flash it. You don't learn it. You're not, you're learning it by heart. So when those activities are done, when it is flashed on WhatsApp, you start reading it. When you read it, it is somewhere there in your mind, and that becomes a part of your habit. Anything that you do for 21 days, it becomes a part of your habit. It is scientifically proved. And this is the reason why we are so much hyperactive on WhatsApp. The entire team, the entire PI team is very hyperactive on WhatsApp. So this does work. So it is all the way we teach the language. It's a lot of science and a lot of psychology as a part of it. Let's not forget again that we are, into a subject which is basically a language wherein the student should be comfortable while speaking, writing. So only then creativity will happen. Next question, sir, please.
I was a lot of typing errors. I was in a class of 8 hours, but still I am unable to manage the score. How will you cover my syllabus in 3 hours?
Language is never about 8 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours. It sounds really nice. हम 8 घंटे आपको पढ़ाएंगे, बहुत अच्छा लगता है. But 8 hours, the same thing, the same reading, same listening, that will not serve the purpose, guys. 3 hours, good enough. And along with that, the WhatsApp activities. Let me tell you what exactly we do in our PI. We have structured the program very smartly. Initially, the first 20 days, you will be doing 2 modules every day. It will be like reading and letter writing. It will be listening and essay writing. Because what happens, agar hum sara kuch ikkathe karate hain, your mind will start mixing up things. When it comes to writing letter and essay, you will not be in a position to segregate. Your mind will not be in a position to understand the importance of each and every module. So I completely don't believe in 8 hours. Okay, 3 hours, good enough. Then you need to go back home and revise what we have done. And again, WhatsApp activities. Now, say, for example, when you go back home, you're doing your cue card. आप cue card का जब answer देते हो, आप self practice करते हो. That is the point. आप 2 बारी practice करोगे, the 3rd time practice करोगे, and 4th time you'll realize, okay, I think I've made a mistake over here. Let me try once again, and then I will post it. So you're practicing. That is important. Sitting in the class, sitting within 4 walls for 8 hours will not serve the purpose. So 3 hours, good enough, but those 3 hours are our time. We will not compromise on anything. You cannot take phone calls. You can't interact with the students. You will interact with the students only if we allow. That 3 hours are very particular. I mean, it is very important. I mean, if the class starts at 8 in the morning, that means by 8:05, we will start the class. And the class will get over by 11 o'clock. And me and my team are very particular. But you'll get the best of quality in that 3 hours. Good enough. I don't think 8 hours is required. Yeah, self-study is important, but 3 hours is good enough. Handy, sir.
Compliment from Anshul. Thanks to you, I managed to score my band's magical 8777. I was missing your aura, so I joined this session. Thank you.
It is a pleasure to have you, dear. I love the word aura. See, the practical word. This is the way vocabulary of PIA will always be a part of my students. And thank you so much, Anjali. It's a pleasure having you in the webinar. And thank you so much.
Again, thing from her. Trust me, ma'am, I am using your vocab. Conducive environment. I'm using your words in my daily life.
The vocabulary that has been designed by me is in such a manner that I want my students to be comfortable. I want the examiner to know that this is the natural flow of the student. There is nobody to teach this student, so that's the way. And these words are words which will be a part of your life. That's the way. See, unless and until you're not comfortable with your own self, you'll not be able to present yourself, because IELTS paper is a very stressful paper. And the day you go and give your paper, definitely that panic button will strike. I'm telling you, it's but natural. You go and give your paper for speaking and are like, oh my God, I have to go for my speaking. But at that point of time, how things will happen, how you'll manage, how those words will just flow out of your system. That is the reason why I always believe in simplicity. Simple, but yes, sophisticated. We need to have adverbs and adjectives while we are giving our vocab and we are presenting. That is my baby. I've done enough of research work on that. Even in speaking, even in writing, there will be a lot of things you won't even come to know. There will be compound words, there will be adjectives and all. That will be a part of it. So that's too technical. So I cannot discuss so much about it, how I do it. But yes, the examiner, whatever they are looking for in your speaking and writing, I will definitely see to it that my students end up giving. It is in such a manner, like, there are times students have been scoring 6.5 in writing and they come and say, Ki, ma'am, 6.5. I said, revaluation bhar do. Only one thing I asked them, आपने फॉलो किया जो मैंने आपको पढ़ाया? They say yes. I said go ahead. Then I am confident कि 6.5 का 7.5 भी हो जाएगा. And honestly speaking, guys, if 10 students are giving 7 students, they are clearing in revaluation. I'm not saying 10 out of 10. Maybe they might have created some issue, maybe they might not have read the question. So 10 out of 10 will definitely not get it. But we have seen that happening. We have proofs with us that if you follow what I teach, even in revaluation, you can clear the paper. So next question, please.
Ma'am, it's already 7:40 and we have around 23 more questions. So
So
shall
we
we
can,
postpone it for next session?
yes, so we can do that. If there's any important question, I can still answer the last one.
Okay, let me see the last one. Should we exaggerate our answers by adding lies?
Is that for writing or speaking? Did she mention or he mentioned?
I think it must be for speaking, ma'am.
Lies, yes, you have to play with words. If it's speaking, it's of course yes. Now, say for example, do you like to plan your meals? I said, of course, I love to plan my meals, specifically my breakfast. Up in the breakfast, whatever I'm eating hardly makes a difference. अब मुझे मैंने झूठ बोला, I want to have handful of nuts and strawberries, exotic fruits. Who has the time to go and buy? But yes, I want to speak it out. I want to sound good. So I ended up saying that, my breakfast should have exotic fruits like strawberries and, basically raspberries, because they're high in, antioxidant. It's a complete lie. So it's okay. It's language. They don't want to know the reality. They just want to listen to you. That is important. Now, say, for example, if they end up asking you a question like, do you like reading? Now, say if I have good knowledge about reading and I don't like it, but still I have knowledge about reading and I've been reading quite a lot in the past, I can say it. So, of course, yes, lies is a big yes in IELTS, provided you smartly handle it and play with your words. That is what is required.
So shall we, ma'am? Shall we end it?
Yes, sir, we can end it over here. And I would say thank you to everybody who's there with us. It was a pleasure being with all of you. And if you have any other queries, you can always be with us on WhatsApp. The number is already flashed over there. And Facebook, YouTube, we are always there to help you. So stay safe and take care.
Students, once again, the WhatsApp number is 97800. 4478. You can stay in touch with us through that number. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, so much.